Last week, Dad did a smash and grab job on some hay. But this week, things are turning a darker shade of green because we're going silaging. Dad, you can tell my dad's been driving the tractor. Off, can't stand the radio. Dad's put the rake on for me, but he's not put it all on, so I've got to go back out. Plug you in, there we go. Okay, take two. Dad most definitely drew the short straw last week because I went on a holiday and he had to stay at home and make hay in a heat wave. But he's getting his own back this week because I've got sheep to shear and we're going to start making a bit of silage. Now, we are a bit late making silage this year. I reckon I said earlier in the year that I wanted to have all of our silage made by the summer solstice, which was last week. However, with the dry weather we had, grass growth was pretty shocking and we had to keep as much as we could for grazing because we didn't know if we were going to need it or not. The weird thing is this year that we've not really had the peak in grass growth that we normally would have. We've kind of just gone up and up and up through May and then flat, actually went down a little bit and then it's kind of gone back again, but we've not caught back up. However, we did manage to keep some stuff shut up, so we're going to make some silage of that, and we've got some other stuff that has got a head of cows, we're going to make some silage of that. But a little bit apprehensive as to the fact we might be a little short. But we have made a lot of hay. Dad's done a good job of that. So this field here is one we've had shut up for a while, and if you look at this, it is super dry, which is annoying. Dad came in here and mowed the headlands last night, and he's mowed the next field, which is one that has got a head of cows, and we can go and look at that in a minute. He mowed the headlands, and the idea is that we're gonna mow a bit, bale it, try and retain as much moisture as possible, then mow a bit more and bale that, and so on and so forth. So we'll probably do maybe 3 stints, 4 stints of mowing, baling, wrapping, mowing again. But it is good stuff. I don't know if you look in here, we've got clover, there's a bit of trefoil in there, plenty of grass, there's some red clover as well. So it is going to be good stuff, but it's going to be a bit dry, which I feel like is the issue we have every year. I always feel like we make it a little bit dry, which is why we're trying to do it in stints, but we'll see. We won't know how good it is until the winter. So there should be a good chunk of stuff on this. What do I want it in? 540E. But as I said, I think the quality on the other stuff on the other field will be better, mainly because that's only been 8 weeks since it's been grazed. So it's a little leafier, a little greener. But we'll see when we get there. There won't be anywhere near as much on it, that's for sure. I've kind of budgeted that, I think I put 250 bales on this 30 acres, and I will get that easy. I'll probably really underestimated on there. But as I've said, we've not done as much other silaging ahead of cows that we would normally do because we've not had the grass growth, which is a slight worry. The only thing I am thinking that could be a bonus at the moment is that if the Herbal Leys that we drilled a couple of weeks ago establish well, we'll take a cut of silage off of those late, so September time, and I'm hoping we won't have what happened last year where we didn't get on because it was too wet. But if we can get a cut off those in September time, in theory, will probably be okay. The main thing is what we want this for is good quality feed for finishing and fattening stock. We'll have enough cow food. We'll be all right for cows. It's young stock, and I think that's often where we fall down. We can probably increase growth rates if we just make better silage. So this is field number 2. And you might not be able to tell much different, but you can see it, firstly, darker green. It's a little bit greener, a little bit more lush. There is a bit of moisture in this actually, which is nice to see. There's loads of clover in here because this has been grazed, so it's allowed that clover to sort of get going and move. But the other thing to look at is the stubble. This stubble is leafier and greener, so I'd imagine that this will grow back a hell of a lot quicker than that on the other side of the hedge, because it's going to have more leaf, more solar panel. I'm just going to thrive after taking this cut of silage. I'm hoping as well that we can get some cattle across these fields once they've greened up, and then maybe if the weather's good, fingers crossed, we can make a bit more silage elsewhere. And if we can make some silage elsewhere, and if we pull all the bits and pieces together, we should be all right. Just looking across there at the farm. Pretty, isn't it? I can hear the birds chirping. I'm a lucky boy. Right, let's get some silaging done.
With all the grass now raked up and ready for the baler, it was time to head back to the yard. I decided I might as well put the rake back in its home, ready for next time, and swap the tractor onto the mower, ready to go again.
Dad's gone running some errands and it's nearly dinner time. So I thought, whilst I wait for him to get back and start baling so I can go wrapping, I thought, why not get the shearing trailer out, see if anything needs doing to it. Because if I've got to go shearing this week, I probably should check it over because I haven't actually looked at it since I put it away last year. One thing I do want to do before we get going is I have these backing gates in the trailer which are brilliant, but this one I think just needs altering because I'm always worried when I'm pulling out the door, which is there, about getting sheep's feet caught under here. So I think I'm going to cut that bar and bend this round so when you tip the sheep out it just slips straight up the side. Right, so that is that, welded up there. You can see, my hope is now that when you tip a sheep out, the foot will just slide up and out. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but in my head, that makes a lot of sense. I've thought about it for a couple of years, never done it, and I'm hoping that that works really well. And if it does, maybe I'll do some of the others. But to be fair, that's the only one that really gets the sheep's feet under it. Dad is now back from his errands, so he's gone baling, but because he's only just started baling, there's not enough for me to go wrapping, so I'm going to go and do a bit of mowing, and then the idea is that I'll go wrapping, he can drop the mower off, and he can go raking up what I've just mowed. Oh, and look who's joined me. These two things here are what people born before 1995 called GPS. So here it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 30. Okay, so I'm going to stick this in over here a little bit so that I can get to the end without stopping. I'll tell you one thing though, that Herbal Ley smells incredible. It's like honey. Oh, it's divine. I know we mentioned trying to keep moisture in this grass. Just look at the dust coming off that baler. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. I've even got dust coming off the mower. I mean, a bit of it's pollen, but some dust too. I think we're gonna have to have a change of plan. There is still a tiny bit of moisture in there, but not much at all. And I think what I'm gonna go and do now is that I've done about half of this field, so I'm gonna go and drop the mower off, put the rake back on, and rake up, and then Dad can come and bale straight behind. Because if we leave it, I don't know if you can tell, it is super windy. Leaving this is not a good idea. Really dry, really quick, and then we're gonna have a lot of haylage. Good haylage, but still haylage. And I want some more silage. It's all fun and games, this job. Okay, we're rowed up. I'm hoping that this will be enough to keep the wind out of it for an hour or two before Dad gets here with a baler and just trap a bit of this moisture. It is green. There is still, it does feel a little damp, which is nice. And it smells amazing. Herbal Ley silage always smells good. It smells good when you unwrap a bale. No matter how dry it is, it smells amazing. And this smells good before it goes into the bale. So I'm hoping that that is a good sign. But I actually know very little about silage. I know plenty about grazing grass, but I don't know much about silage. Anyway, Dad will be here in a minute, and then I'm gonna go and wrap up behind him.
Luckily, we had half a pallet of wrap in the back of the shed that we never used at the back end of last year. And with the 6410 on the wrapper, I loaded up my wrapper tubes and got ready to go. I then dug the control box out of the cupboard and plugged it in, safe in the knowledge that the wife had got me covered with nighttime refreshments.
Tea and cake.
And then it was time to go.
So I'm not gonna lie, I already missed the Tanko wrapper. It's a bit of a reality check when you go from that high-speed machine back to this one. And this one, I mean, this is two spools of wrap and it's still bloody quick. But I really miss it. I really miss it. Can't afford one, but Michael, if you're watching, I could do with borrowing it between, I don't know, April and October every year. So if you could be a darling and just send that down, I'll be really pleased.
With the darkness drawing ever closer and over 200 bales still to wrap, I knew I was in for the long haul. But that was nothing that a slice of banana bread and a cup of tea couldn't sort out. And that was a good job, because the next thing I knew, the sheep were calling.
So here's a bit of a top tip for you. One question that I get asked all the time is, how does someone who's got nothing to do with agriculture, never been brought up into it, doesn't really have any opportunities directly to get in there or easy paths, how do they get into agriculture? And I'm going to tell you, there are two ways. Number one, be willing to milk cows. Milking cows is a fantastic way of getting in. If you can go in doing some relief milking and show someone that you are willing to get up early and milk cows and get stuck in and understand the system and not be late, that's fantastic. And as well, if you do the late milking and that shows that you're not too bothered about going out, you're willing to sacrifice going to the pub or whatever it is that you do at evenings, weekends, if you can show someone that you're willing to do that, they will give you the opportunity to get in. The other way is to shear sheep. Shearing sheep is hard work. It is just serious graft. It's painful, it's difficult, it's not particularly fun, it's smelly, it's sweaty, it is itchy, you get kicked, you get bruised, you get cut, you cut yourself. But if you can persevere through all of that and get to the stage where you're a good shearer and you can hold your own, maybe shear, you don't have to be doing hundreds, 150 in a day. If you can do that and go and take someone's spare stand or whatever and just help somebody out, you will get so many opportunities come your way because people in the industry respect someone who goes shearing because they know how hard that job is, because a lot of people have tried it and most of them failed. So if you've got the ability and the discipline to shear sheep and graft away, that is a phenomenal way of getting into agriculture, because people will just give you opportunities based out of respect. I've just gone and closed the gate and I've seen that the tups are here. They've got about 350 sheep, something like that altogether. And he's got 12 tups. My God. I was just thinking about a time when I was here once. They used to run an old Daihatsu 4-track as the farm vehicle. And they couldn't get the Daihatsu one day, it was parked along here, they couldn't get it moving. It just kept going backwards and forwards, and they just kept trying and trying and trying. And old John was just like revving it up and it was going nowhere and going nowhere. And then he realised he was trying to run over my generator. But unbelievably, the Daihatsu died years ago, but the generator's still going. Oh, it does, yeah, it comes around faster than I ever expect it to. It's when you get to Christmas and I always think, I'm gonna be shearing them sheep in 6 months, like, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, but the wind's a nightmare, isn't it? It'd be drafty and get cold. Sometimes I don't mind the heat. I can cope with the heat. The wind is just, yeah, on your back, it's not particularly pleasant. I can always remember doing them at Cadeby one day and it was bloody hot. And I think we were tucked down by that lane at the bottom. Yeah. And oh, yeah, it haunts me. He said I wouldn't do it again. I reckon that was about 32 or something. Yeah, it haunts me. I've just realised I've bought my radio, but I forgot to bring the batteries. So I'm gonna have a quiet day. Oh, and there we go. I did about 3 hours shearing in total with one move and knocked off 120 ewes. Beautiful little afternoon. Windy though, makes your back hurt. I've still got another about 130 to do tomorrow, and then I think 80 after that. I'm gonna go and have a wash because I stink. And I never even got my t-shirt off because it's windy.
And when we finished silaging, we'd made 316 bales from 39 acres. Not too shabby, considering the dry weather. Bodie's Farm, over and out.